I'm Erica Fitzgerald. I'm a writer and a mom, and I do what I love. I am a writer. I work in corporate communication for a financial services company. So I'm kind of like a reporter, I guess you could say, but instead of reporting the local or national news, I'm reporting what's going on inside the company and then sharing that with sometimes the employees and sometimes with people outside the company. As long as I can remember, I've wanted to be a writer. I think even when I was in preschool, I knew that I wanted to be a writer, and I didn't really know how that would pan out. I think there were times when I thought I would, be an author and write books, or who knows what it was, but I just love being able to write because it's what I've enjoyed my entire life, and it's so much fun for me. And I think throughout the course of my career, one of the things I've realized I love so much about writing is that you're kind of teaching in a way. You're taking information that might be complex or maybe not so interesting, and you're turning it into something that people want to read and something that they can learn about to enhance their life or to enhance their success at work or whatever it might be. So I really enjoy just helping people to understand things better and helping people learn how to express themselves more clearly as well. There was never a question in my mind that I would ever want to do anything else, I think, which is probably pretty uncommon, but I think that's just something that I've always loved. I always loved to read. I always had a book in my hand. I loved writing contests, and I just always did really well. That was the subject that I excelled in, and that was the subject that I enjoyed the most, and it came really easily to me and naturally to me, so it was always fun. I would write stories in my free time and try to write, novels when I was in 5th grade, just little silly things, poems, all kinds of stuff. So growing up, I knew that I wanted to write, and I didn't really know what kind of writing careers were out there. I guess I always just assumed that if I wanted to be a writer, that meant that I would be sitting home in my little room writing books, and whether that be children's books or adult books or whatever, fiction, nonfiction. I kind of just viewed that as the only path. When you're a kid, sometimes you have a more narrow way of looking at things. And as I decided to choose English as my major in college, I chose it because I loved it, and I knew that I wanted to do something with writing or something with language. And so people would sometimes say, well, what do you want to do with that? What are you going to do with that major? And people always assumed that I wanted to teach English. And I didn't really want to teach English, not that I don't enjoy teaching, because I think in a way writing is a form of teaching, but I wanted to be the one writing, not the one teaching someone else how to write. And so I guess I kind of went into the major not really 100% sure what the career outcome would be, but I just knew that it was something that I was passionate about, and I figured if I pursued what I love to do, that options would come up. Companies need this. Companies need people who know how to communicate clearly. When you can communicate clearly, everything runs more efficiently. And especially in today's world where email is such an important part of, when you're working in a company, you have to know how to write, because good writers are able to be more respected, because when you're communicating and writing, that's the first impression that people see about you. So writing is important for that. It's important that people be able to get what you're saying, understand it quickly, and process it so that they can move on to do what they need to do. Take action based on what you're telling them to do. So I was just kind of blown away by how valued writing is and communication is in really any setting, but corporate settings in particular. Dad comes to mind as somebody who mentored me or kind of guided me into the importance of doing something that you love, number one, but also because he always worked in a corporate environment, he was able to see how companies work, and that the skills and the passions that I had would definitely fit into that kind of an environment. So he has always been really encouraging of my writing and of the value of what I'm doing in a corporate setting. And I also had a professor in college that I took several classes from her and just really enjoyed what she taught me about business writing and nonfiction writing and just writing in general. She was always very encouraging and kind of helped me to just see what was out there. And it was actually outside of her classroom that I saw the ad for the internship at the financial services company that I work for now that led to my career, so it's pretty cool. One of my favorite things that I've loved about this job since day one is just the variety of people that I get to meet. I do a lot of interviewing, So, and especially when I was working full-time, I did a lot of interviewing and just getting to meet people from all areas of the company with all different kinds of skills, whether we were interviewing people for maybe a company magazine article, just a personality profile type thing, which those are the best, those are so much fun. Or maybe we're interviewing somebody about tax laws and regulations and it's super boring, but just getting to see their passion for it and getting to translate that into something that people can understand and, you know, just seeing things click. It's just so neat. Going through some old box of old stuff recently, a few weeks ago, and I found a notebook from my 7th grade writing class, and my teacher had us do all these writing prompts. A couple times a week she would ask a question, and the question on that day was something about what is your dream job? And I wrote, and I was 12 years old at the time, I wrote that I want to be a writer and I want some kind of a job that will allow me to stay home with my kids most of the time. And looking back, I thought, really? I thought that back then? That's amazing that I'm living this out. Who knew that that would come true, that I would truly be living my dream? It just gave me such a deeper appreciation for what I'm doing right now and how special it really is to be able to do that and have the best of both worlds. So currently I just work 1 day a week in the office, and then the rest of the time I'm able to be home with my son, which I love. That's the most important thing in my life. So, but it's neat to still, you know, have the best of both worlds and be able to enjoy the career aspect and keep my foot in the door for the future while also focusing my time and energy right now while he's little on raising him. So it's a lot of fun and I'm really thankful for the opportunity. I'm Erica Fitzgerald. I'm a writer and a mom, and I do what I love.